the Recovery Daily podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abassi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor, and I have no idea what I'm going to say today. um, I'm just going to talk because that's what I have to do. So today I saw my psychiatrist for the first time I was looking at my calendar and it looks like the last time I saw her was, and I'm talking virtually, was in March. And I found that when I was talking to her this morning, I was telling her the same stuff that I told her the first time. But this time I was bawling my eyes out. And that's the real deal, you know? What I told her was, I think that my personality wants to fix a problem before I tell you what the problem is. And so what I did was I used my remarkable before the meeting and I wrote down the things that were going on in my head so that I would remember what what to talk about, like what were the things that were wrong. Because even though I think about them every day, I can get like stage fright in front of a psychiatrist and not know, like, I want to say, my instinct wants to say I'm okay, and I'm not okay. I'm just plain on not okay. And it's hard to hit record for this podcast when I'm not okay. It's hard to talk about not being okay. I want to help other people. I don't want to hit record and talk about I'm not okay. You know, how is that helpful? But I just know that that's what I have to do, that I have to hit record when I'm not okay, because it is showing people that even though I may come across as being hopeful and helpful every day, that what is going on between my ears is not always what I talk about. You know, I may talk every day, but I might not be talking about the real issues sometimes. And I try to do that. I try to be honest and I try to share my mental health. But when I was talking to the psychiatrist today, I was telling her like about what I always say, which is depression feeds on itself. And I said, I don't want to tell you, I don't want to tell you what's wrong because I don't want you to fix it. Does that make sense? I know that it does make sense. I want to write that down. Sorry. We're gonna take a note-taking pause. What did I say? I don't want to tell you what's wrong. Wanna tell you what's wrong. Bear with me. Thanks. Wrong because I don't want you to fix it. I don't want you to fix it. You people are so nice to let me work through these things. Okay. Um, that's what my depression wants. It wants me to not seek help. Um, we talk about in sobriety how our alcoholism wants us dead. Well, my depression wants me sad. Um, I don't think my depression wants me dead. Mine doesn't want me dead. I'm not suicidal. I never have been. Um, but it wants me really, really sad. And it does a really good job at trying to get me to walk around life really, really sad. Um, But I have tools now that I use to make sure that I'm not walking around really, really sad. And sometimes those tools don't seem to be working. And when I was talking to her today, I opened up by saying, all I think about is death. All I think about is what's the big thing that's going to happen next? What is going to change my life forever again? Um, what is the point? Like, I love recording. I love helping other people. I love talking about what's going on between my ears so that I can help somebody else relate. I love that. That is a deep passion of mine. Simply because I couldn't find somebody in real life that felt like me. I couldn't relate to anyone. Um, but the people that I could relate to were alcoholics. And I coincidentally, was that a coincidence? No, was an alcoholic. So it was a clear path for me. There are people who suffer from depression and anxiety who are not alcoholics. And I want to be able to reach them too. That is a passion of mine, okay? But when I was talking to her, I was like, but what is the point? I don't know how to say that otherwise, is to say, like, I can't see my future like I used to be able to. I can't see what living happily ever after looks like anymore. I can't. And I want to be able to see that again. She asked me what, sorry, I want to write that down too. I have to write these things down because I'm not going to remember when I'm done. Although I have it recorded, don't I? What is my happily ever after? I know some of you laugh when I laugh, and then you text me or email me and tell me that you laugh when I laugh, so that makes me feel good. What is my happily ever after? I I can't see it. I only see tragedy. And I don't want to do that. I want to be able to see what a good life looks like for me. I want to be able to look at me growing older, being old and wrinkly and gray. I want to be able to see that, and I don't see it. Um, I don't know if it's because I'm so fearful that I'm not going to be here to be old and gray. That's what it feels like now. It didn't used to feel that way. What I told her today was being old and gray was a fact in my life. And since my stroke, it doesn't feel like a fact anymore. It feels like a question, an uncertainty. And that is not giving me the fuel that I need to live in the moment. And it just all seems to be just this mush in my head. And I know that I'm not the only one who feels things like this. I'm not unique. But doesn't it feel unique when we think of things like that? And and it doesn't seem like something we want to articulate. So that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm talking about it. Um, let's see, what else did I talk to her about? I didn't talk to her about this, but I wrote down this morning before the meeting, like, is this what a midlife crisis is? I don't think it is. I don't know. I need to look up what a midlife crisis is. I don't, people have crisis, and they didn't have a stroke. So I don't think that's what this is. I talked to her about my neighbor who passed away. I talked to her a lot about our parents. And at the age that I'm at, I have a lot of friends whose parents are sick or dying. We just had another friend of ours whose father passed away. And I said to her, having your parent pass away is something that I just can't define the incredible sadness connected to that. I would not be able to put into words what that will feel like to me, because I am so deeply in love with my parents. And this is what I told her. And yet, this happens every day to people, and we just accept it as normal. Why? Because there's nothing we can do about it. Like, death is inevitable. And that is the thing that unknown caller makes me, sorry, my phone is ringing. I have to answer it. Hello, this is Rachel. Okay, thanks so much. You too. Bye. Okay. Sorry. So that was the same psychological center place telling me that they need my payment. Thanks. I'm talking about like, isn't that just the way people I I'm talking about these things that are bothering me and, they need their payment. That's so funny. Funny and not funny. Anyway, I was telling her like there's this idea that our parents are gonna leave us and we're supposed to just accept that. Um, we're not supposed to. I mean, we have to accept that. And I don't want to. And that's what I told her. I was like, I don't want to. I can't accept that. And so she talked to me about the fact that th the reason why life is so sweet and wonderful is that it's temporary. How did she say it to me? She said it to me in um, if we didn't enjoy life so much, death wouldn't hurt so bad. And that really sounds good, you know? I mean, I'm not going to say more than it just sounds good right now. But she was talking to me about um, how everything is special because it's temporary. And she was talking to me about how much power am I going to let that have on my today, on my opportunity to be happy right now. Um, how can I enjoy right now because it's temporary? Um, that sounds good. It sounds good. I can't tell you that it changed me, today, but I feel better having talked to her. Um, I cried the ugly cry. She said, I'm not an ugly crier. You guys know whether I'm an ugly crier or not, but She said, I'm not an ugly crier, but I cried almost the whole time. And that's different than what I did the last time I saw her. You lifetime listeners know that I was seeing her for quite some time. And in retrospect, it doesn't seem like I did see her for very long. But I told her that like I told you at the beginning of the episode, like I feel like I want to provide the solution to her, not the problem. Because that's what I do here sometimes. A lot of times, I'm talking about the solution rather than talking about the problem. Um, so today, I'm telling you about the problem and I'm just being real about it. And this isn't maybe it is a self-help episode, but I don't know that I want to give any suggestions because I don't like to give suggestions unless I'm going to follow them myself. So, this is one of those, we're going to talk about it in real time and we're going to see how it evolves over time. Because one thing I know for certain, because it's happened too many times, is that I'm going to get through this to the other side. I think you guys have seen me do it over and over again throughout this podcast. And that's the point. That is the point, is to be as transparent as possible so that other people who are sick and suffering can see it for themselves, that it happens. Like we heal, we get better, we work at it. She kept telling me, and I don't take this on very well, but she said how incredibly proud of me she was to have called her again. And I am. I am proud of me. My depression doesn't want me to be happy for myself, you know? So that's what's going on. I'm glad I hit record. That's what we do here. And I will hit record again tomorrow. Thank you so much for being my group, my people. Um, I also went to a stroke support group after my favorite stroke support group after my psychiatrist appointment. And I told them I just finished with my psychiatrist appointment where I bawled for an hour and they just nodded. You know, there's this dude on there that, I mean, him and I would be brothers, a brother and sister. I just adore him. He just seems so much like me. We may not look alike, but we are so much alike. And I just really connect with him whenever I see him on the screen. And so he was nodding, like, yeah, I get it. And at the end of the support group, I was like, I can't tell you how much I need this. I need to be with people like me. None of them have the same stroke deficits that I do. They all have the physical, like tingling on one side, or the palsy face. So I'm sorry, but I don't know what that's called. Um, and some people have a, drop foot where you drag your foot and things like that. And mine is mostly my vision. Mine is all in my head, quote unquote. But it doesn't matter. Like we were talking about that. We all have different deficits and it doesn't matter. So I just really want to continue to try to be an advocate for uh, stroke awareness and vestibular disorder awareness and all of that stuff. It seems like that's what I have to do, that's my calling, if you will. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And I'm glad again that I hit record. Thanks for showing up for yourself and thanks for showing up for me. I'll talk to you tomorrow.